Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back on our BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by a great friend of mine, Mr. Austin No Doubt Trout. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Brace free for now. My wife is gonna kill me. I gotta put my brace back on.
Brace brothers, you know what I mean? Like, what happened in that fight? I had heard there was rumors in the back that you broke your wrist in the first round. I heard the fifth round. Like, when did you break your? And you didn't break your wrist, right? You broke your arm, right?
Yeah, I broke my arm in the fifth round. It was the
Okay.
fifth. And I remember it ended up being a highlight. The overhand I hit him with, I threw it again, and that was the second one's the one it broke on. And it's a clean break too, thank God. But I thought I finished the fight, and I was like, all right, cool, I lasted. And then they made us do the sixth round, and that was one of those moments where it's just like, honestly, I just forgot about it. Not forgot about it because if you notice, I didn't throw it, but it wasn't like, no, my arm's broken. It's like, all right, we got to fight with the broken arm. You know what I mean? Let's go.
I was sitting up with a bunch of boxers. Everybody agreed that you had probably won that fight in regulation. I clearly Snake won the first round. You won the next four convincingly to everybody else. So were you surprised? Do you feel like they forced that? Like I feel like they kind of forced that one. They wanted like people were booing. You know what I mean? It was a very technical fight. People hate that. You know, you see all these guys throw.
Yeah.
And they hate that. But you're a very technical guy. I don't know what they're expecting.
Not just that. It was a lackluster fight. I don't want to put, it takes two to tangle, but you know I let my hands go. You know what I'm saying? It got to the point where I felt like I was fighting to win the belt and he was fighting to keep the belt. And especially that sixth round, thank God he didn't understand that that sixth round wins the whole fight, and that he didn't catch on that my arm was broken, and he allowed me to, kind of piece him up to a victory. But I felt like I won the fight. There was not a round besides the first round that he won.
What's it like losing? I mean, that's the first round that you've lost. Were you kind of like, I mean, he did clip you with a pretty hard shot, but were you like, I mean, you were in control the whole time? Like, you weren't any, like, you weren't worried or anything, were you?
No, I wasn't worried. I just had to make sure I didn't make that mistake again. I walked straight to him and got caught with the check hook, and it was a good shot. Everyone was like trying to make the case. Oh, he just fell. It was a trap. No, no, it was legit. He put me down. But it's not the first time I've ever lost a round. I've came back and made some pretty good comeback wins. And this was a good one in my opinion. And even with the broken hand, it just makes for a great story.
Okay, so we talked before. I feel like I'm pushing you out the door, but you said, hey, look, I'm kind of done with 65. I want to go to 55. Is that still the
Yes.
plan, or you've sat on it for a little bit and you want to retain the belt? Like, what do you want to do?
No, I mean, I want to go to 55. That's the smart move for me in this point in my career. It's the next thing. What's going to happen at 165 is, these guys are big and bigger than I am. And I don't walk around at what these guys walk around at. And honestly, I was always a 155. The only reason why I went to 165 because that's what we had to do to make the Diego fight. And then
Right.
after Diego, Palomino called me out and I got the title shot and then I got the belt and here I am. I want to go to 55. I would love to get the winner of Soto Tenaglia. I would love to after beating them get a defense against Kai since he's coming up to 50. Like there's a whole bunch of fights to be made. The Baba Yaga. I'll love to punch that ticket after I get those big name defenses. Since he feels like people are ducking him and he inadvertently you know subliminally called me out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go get the 155 belt and the 165 belt. And honestly, I'm not here to be a hog.
Sure.
If there's a chance to defend the 165, sure. But I'm focusing on the 155. And if I got good, uh not just say promise, but if it's a reality that I can get that 155 belt, 165 could have it. All y'all go through my guy Rico Franco. See if y'all can get through him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, are you willing to tell us when you were going into this fight in Dubai? Were you at 100%? Were your body? Would your hands? Was everything? Were you at 100% going into that fight?
As fighters, probably usually never at 100%. You know what I mean? There's always some kind of injury, something. But this fight going in, it was really, I was really close to pulling out. I was real close to pulling out. I caught a rib injury like 3 weeks before we left, and I couldn't do nothing. It was like 3 days before we actually ended up leaving that I was able to start running and whatnot. But I started feeling good while I was over in Dubai, and we just like, let's go. Nonetheless, Trinidad's a tough dude. You know what I mean? He's lanky, he's awkward, he hits pretty hard. He has what's the word, like surprising speed. Like it doesn't
Sure.
look fast, but it comes fast. You know what I'm saying? So not taking anything away from him, but I I wish I was able to peek out in camp.
Okay, so I didn't want to drop that you had told me that you had a rib injury, like going into it. Did you have to fight like a different sort of style though to protect those ribs? Because like I know
Yeah.
that you had gotten hurt, hit a couple of times on the ribs, and you were really favoring them.
Yeah, I was good enough to move and whatnot, but I don't think if I would have caught, and thank God he didn't figure that out either. He didn't go to the body that much. And I felt like he could have put me down if he gave me a good shot to the ribs. And it
So
wasn't even the ribs I was worried. So that's why it's funny that I get dropped, from a headshot because I wasn't even worried about the head. And until he did that, I was like, okay, let me focus on both.
you can tell Gator ain't no Stitch because I didn't say shit to anybody else. But I mean, like, I thought it was cool that you told me, and I was like, oh fuck, that's not good. And then like, I was worried that he was gonna like Rico went heavy on your body, and Trinidad seemed to totally ignore that and wanted
Yeah,
to just headhunt you. So
he ignored it, which I'm grateful for. You know what I'm saying? But after hindsight's 2020, I know he's probably like, shit, I wish I knew that. But yeah, I'm glad you didn't know.
okay, I see you wearing the Houston Hitman thing. What's going on with that?
TCL, Team Combat League, man. Um, it's just exciting boxing. It's team boxing. We got about 15 weight classes, 24 rounds of boxing. Each weight class goes once or twice. It's a phenomenal high action, high pack sport. It's crazy. This last week, the Hitmen, we fought against LA Lee, and we had like just to give you a brief summary, we have like the money rounds, which is the first eight. We have the middle rounds, which is the second eight, and then we have the money. I mean, sorry, launch rounds, middle rounds, money rounds, and the money rounds are our best matchups. I pick four, they pick four, and it went knockdown, stoppage. Next round is another stoppage. Next round, another stoppage, just back and forth. We end up losing by two because at the end, our guy came in and he ended up getting dropped right at the end. It was crazy. It's like I think in sports history, you got to go check those fights out. And then right after that, Phoenix versus Las Vegas. That had to been some type of historical moment as far as lead changes and adrenaline dumps. It was crazy. Check it out on Merit TV. It's Dr. Phil's app. We have a fight tomorrow here in Dallas. I think it's like 7 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, but Dr. Phil's station, it's really a great thing. Something that's going to keep boxing around, in my opinion.
So tell me about this. Like you and I have talked. You want to do a tryout down there. It seems like BKFC isn't holding any tryouts, but you've told me Houston is the place to go if BKFC wants to find the next star.
I absolutely. Houston's a big city, and the thing about Houston is that it's very small town minded, meaning that they support their own big time. Everybody feels connected to everybody from Houston, and everybody says hi to everybody. It's very like we look after our own type deal, and so a bare knuckle champion. I mean, and you have the Hispanic population over here, which is great for bare knuckle. You have the Cowboys over here, which is great for bare knuckle. Yep, like pretty much every demographic that's good for bare knuckle.
Okay, so your buddies, the Mountain Head, they sent in a question. They said, we're big fans of No Doubt. We want to know how he got started in boxing and what inspired him the most about the process when he first started out.
I was a fan of boxing because my mom, so I would blame her for making me want to box. And so when I found out this gym, she probably took me. And honestly, I think the thing that got me hooked on boxing the most is because I was real small and slow. But in boxing, I was fast and lightweight big for my weight. Being, let's say, 9 or 10, and only weighing 65 or 70 pounds, probably not that big as a 19-year-old. But when you're boxing, other 9 or 10 years that are 65 pounds, I was a little bit taller than them. I wasn't taller than anybody. I was real small, I thought. But you always get matched up with your weight, your size, and your experience. So unlike football, basketball, the kids were all way bigger than me, faster than me. It was able to help me develop into my own. So I like to say that boxing helped me find my athletic ability, because I really wasn't that good of an athlete until boxing for real.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. I know you're busy with the coaching and stuff like that. I don't want to take too much of your time. So thanks so much. Like I said, I just wanted to get the official approval that, like, I'm making all these matchups, and I'm like, well, Austin should really say if it's okay before I keep making all these matchups.
Yeah, let's go. Tell them, come on, I'm coming at the top. I'm going to chop the stump down and chop a tree down the stump. I'm going to come take that out. And I'll be that guy. And then
All right, man. Thanks so
that rematch at 55 and 65. Whichever. I'm sick of
Right.
talking about that trash.
All right, sir. Well, thanks so much for your time. Good luck to the Houston Hitman tomorrow.
Thank you, man.
Bye.